stock transaxle, the transmission on the car. The AC motor gives us a tremendous amount of torque and horsepower. The horsepower is about double what it was originally.
Now is the big question for me. I've got a mid-80s Maserati bi-turbo. We're looking to put maybe $20,000 worth of electric components into it. Do you think I potentially could find a customer for it?
It's a very attractive, sporty little two-door, unique Maserati, and that's really the thing that's bringing people to us is the uniqueness of these vehicles right now. There's
only one thing, though. With one of these, do you get that surprising look from people that are driving something, I don't know, like a Porsche or a Volkswagen Golf GTI, and you blow past them in silence?
I love that. I love pulling up next to a 911 silently. They don't even know I'm there, and I just go,
brilliant.
Incredible insight as to where we can take our Maserati, because after all, we did start with something rather agricultural. This brushed DC motor can only manage about 100 foot-pounds of torque, about 50 horsepower, but the real disadvantage is the fact that you have to change the brushes about every 2,000 miles or so. Not good, which is why we're going to go with a brushless AC induction motor. Now, this thing can produce about 120 foot-pounds of torque and about 71 horsepower, so we're already on to a winner. But of course, our car is a bi-turbo, so why not fit two motors? So we now have 142 horsepower, which is only slightly less than the car would have come out of the factory when it had a petrol engine. But we do actually have 240 foot-pounds of torque, which is 50 more. And all that torque is available right from 0 revs, so the acceleration is going to be incredible. Before we can drop our new power plant into the engine bay, I need to attach motor controllers and the clutch pack into the motor, controlling the motor speed. Now, another advantage of going for two smaller motors rather than one big one is you can then run two smaller motor controllers. Now, these do cost about £2,000 each, and they can be fair, but a 1,300 amp controller would cost about $8,000, so it really is quite a saving. And of course, the same goes for all of the other parts or components that are going to be used, including little switches, fuses, all that kind of stuff, all the cabling even, is all going to be for each of the motors in this common housing. And of course, they also share a common shaft. So I spin this end, you can see this end moving. And the idea is they should work in harmony with any luck. Now, before I explain how the controllers work, I should really explain how an electric motor works. Principally, it relies heavily on the magical forces of magnetism. So I'm just going to get myself a rare earth magnet. This is neodymium. This is super strong, super magnetic. I'm just going to put a screw onto the top magnetic force. And there's a little rule you can use. So if the current's going that way, I can actually see the lines of force are going to be going in a kind of a rotation. So if I now connect up the wire to connect the circuit and therefore get our magnetic fields going, you can see that the magnet actually decides to take the path of least resistance because the wire simplest electric motors. Even sophisticated modern motors like the new one for our Maserati rely on these fundamental electromagnetic principles to work. To the Maserati's gearbox. This is an OEM or original equipment clutch assembly, as found on the Maserati as it came from the factory with its petrol engine. The majority of clutch wear is a result of the initial slip during takeoff, matching the gearbox to engine speed. It's going to last a lot longer. Mating any clutch assembly into its transmission can be a test of patience. Threading the splines on the first motion shaft into those in the clutch brake can mean a little fiddling is required. Our twin Curtis AC induction motors cost us approximately $4,000, $2,000 a motor. The third most expensive component in our renewed EV system, but a bargain really. So we now have our tandem motors fitted, our twin motor controllers, so our bi-turbo is now bi-motor. But that's by no means